Hi, hello, I'm Alexis, and I'm here to give you some guidance on how to use storytelling when you're communicating in times of crisis. Especially if you're a leader, leading organizations or leading teams. In this moment when there's a crisis happening, of course, it's crucial for you to be able to communicate regularly to your team, to your organization. And I'm sure you know it, you don't need me to tell you that there are key things that you need to be able to communicate and key styles. So it needs to be empathetic. Your audience need to feel that empathy from you. It needs to be transparent as well. And it also has to have that element of bounded optimism so that people feel we are moving forward and we're going somewhere. And I think the regularity of having to communicate makes it difficult, and that's what I'd like to help you with here. I would like to give you a clear 3-step structure to help you structure those 5-minute speeches or webinars that you're going to be giving once a week to your teams and your organizations. And why storytelling though? Let's just take a moment to think about that. Because I think for all of us, we feel we are right in the middle of a story, right here, right now. And for most of us, we feel like we're in the dilemma. And I think you have to imagine the people that you are speaking with. Each and every one of those people, they feel that they are like mini storytellers. And what they're doing, and I think what all of us are doing at this moment, is we're looking at this chaotic scene around us, and we're trying to make sense of it by looking for patterns. We'll be looking at the rate in China, how it's gone up and it's gone down. We'll be looking at what's happening in Italy, what's happening here. We'll be looking at our kids around us, at the job security. And in a way, that's your job. Your job is to say you understand what is happening and you see some of the patterns. And because of that, you're able to explain to people what might happen next. The classic storytelling question, so what happens next? So I'd like you to think of this as 3 narrative panels. And the 3 panels are this: frame, action, and antithesis. That's all you have to think about. So let's look at the first one, framing. This is where you create the empathy. And what is it you need to do? Basically, when you start speaking to your people, you need to be able to frame their situation. And by that, I mean you have to define that you understand the emotional situation they feel they're in, and then you have to connect your situation to it. And you have to frame their expectations about what they're expecting to happen next, and your expectations about what happens next. Then we move on to the next one, which is about action. And that's where you ask for action from them. And once you've done that, you can show them the action you're taking and introducing to help them. And then the final bit is antithesis. What happens if the 2 of us don't take that action and give them a vision? And what happens if the 2 of us do take that action and give them a vision? Now, I know I've explained it in very theoretical terms, so let me give you an example. I posted on the LinkedIn site a very interesting interview with Gordon Brown, who, of course, he was the ex-Prime Minister of Great Britain, and he has form in dealing with crisis back in 2008. Now, it wasn't so much a speech as an interview, but he demonstrated these 3 elements. Right at the beginning, he spoke about the people, and he said, the people of Great Britain right now, you are suffering from 2 challenges, an economic one and also a medical one, and that's creating a lot of fear for you. And also, when you look to the future, and now goes to the expectations, you're wondering, will I have money? Is the government going to pay me? Is my organisation going to pay me? How will I pay my mortgage? And what's going to happen to my kids when they come home? What's going to happen? Will I still be able to see my family? So he defines very nicely, and he also connects himself, and they're highly emotional situations. And then he talks about action. Of course, he asks the government to take action, but he talks about you have to invest heavily and make dramatic investments now for people and pay their salaries. And then he also talks about what individuals have to do. Stay at home, make sure you stay relevant, and make sure you're ready to go back to work as soon as you can. And then he talks about what happens if we don't take those steps. And he talks about the snowball chain reaction that takes place. If you don't pay people, they won't be able to buy goods, their jobs won't be there for when they go back, and one sector will fall apart and lead to another sector falling apart. And then he talked about if you do invest, what will happen. That when the economy, and when this is over, the economy is there and ready to pick up. You can look at that, you can Google it, you can search it on Radio 4. So those are the 3 steps. Start by framing, action, and antithesis. Good luck with that. I hope it gives you something to work with, and I'll be back next time to talk about how we deliver this so that we come across as being transparent and we can define and show that bounded optimism. See you next time.